When you hear the term cyber attack, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most of us, it's probably some scene out of a movie, right? Hackers in dark rooms targeting these giant, faceless corporations. But that picture, that whole idea, well, that's the very myth we're going to bust today.
And this really lays it all out. The myth is that hackers are going after the big, headline-grabbing companies. But the reality, it's so much simpler than that. Cybercriminals aren't always looking for the biggest score. A lot of the time, they're just looking for the path of least resistance. They're looking for the unlocked door.
So this leads us to a really common and honestly a pretty dangerous misconception that cybersecurity is just a big company problem.
I mean, how many small business owners have thought this exact thing? Hey, I'm just a small shop. I don't have millions of dollars or sensitive government secrets. Why on earth would a hacker waste their time on me? And you know what? It makes sense on the surface, but it's a way of thinking that can get you into a lot of trouble.
And this is where we need to flip the script. The reason you, as a small business, are a target has almost nothing to do with how much you're worth. It has everything to do with how vulnerable you are.
Right. Think about it. The huge corporations, they've got entire teams, massive budgets, and all this state-of-the-art tech just for security. Small businesses? Well, we're often running on a shoestring budget and wearing a dozen different hats. It's that lack of protection that makes you a really attractive, really easy target.
And here's the wild part. These weak spots, these vulnerabilities, they're not usually some complex technical flaw. Nope. They're often hiding in plain sight, baked into the everyday things we do just to get our work done.
Like this. Does this look familiar to you? You've got all your customer info, names, emails, maybe more, all sitting in a shared Excel file that anyone can open. Super convenient, right? But it's also a massive risk, just waiting to happen.
Or what about this one? Using passwords that are incredibly easy to guess just because they're easy to remember. I mean, we've all been tempted, but it's basically like leaving the key to your business right under the doormat.
And we see this constantly. Using personal messaging apps like WhatsApp to talk about sensitive client stuff, it's fast, it's easy, and it completely sidesteps any real security measures you might have in place.
And the list just keeps going, doesn't it? Google Drive folders that everyone has access to, using your personal cell phone for critical business emails, websites that collect customer info but don't have a simple privacy notice. These are all incredibly common gaps.
And that's really the heart of the issue, isn't it? On their own, each of these things feels like a tiny, harmless shortcut. No big deal. Nobody sees them as a serious threat. Until they are. Until something actually happens.
This is where the conversation gets really important. Because the true cost of a security breach isn't just about the data you lose or the potential fines. Those are bad for sure. But the real price is something so much more fundamental to your business.
It all comes down to trust. See, your customers give you their information, and they do it with this unspoken belief that you're going to take care of it, that you're going to be responsible. That trust is the absolute bedrock of your relationship with them. So you have to ask yourself this, and be really honest. If your customers found out that their private information was exposed because of a simple mistake, a preventable shortcut, would they still trust you? Would they ever look at your business the same way again? Because once that trust is gone, getting it back is next to impossible.
Okay, so that's the scary part. But here's the good news. This is not a problem that needs a giant budget or a team of IT wizards to fix. You can make a huge, huge difference with some really simple changes.
Just look at this list. None of this is rocket science. Using stronger, more unique passwords. Making sure that only the people who absolutely need to see sensitive info can get to it. Showing your team what a suspicious email looks like. These are basic, practical steps any of us can start taking, like right now. And they will dramatically lower your risk.
So the real takeaway here is that we have to stop thinking of cybersecurity as just some IT thing. It's not.
It's a core business issue. It's about how you run your company, how you build relationships, and whether or not you can protect that vital bond of trust you have with your customers.
And for a small business, when a single breach can completely tank your reputation overnight, let's be honest, it's a survival issue.
So, we'll just leave you with this one last thought. Forget about the technology and the data for just a second. The real question is this: is your business doing everything it can to protect its single most valuable asset? Is it protecting trust?